A sleigh caroms through the sky, wobbling, zigzagging, right into the heart of Kruger National Park. The moon casts a soft glow on the scene, highlighting Santa's confused expression as he stumbles out of his sleigh. But wait! That's Santa's sleigh. What's happening here? This isn't your typical holiday story. It all begins in a small South African village where two mischievous twins, Thandi and Sizwe, are always looking for trouble or adventure, depending on how you see it. This time, their curiosity got the better of them when they discovered their grandmother's ancient Zulu drum tucked away in a dusty corner of their home. Little did they know, this wasn't just any drum. It held powers beyond their imagination. And after a few playful beats, a swirl of golden light engulfed the room. There stood Santa Claus, looking utterly bewildered. His red suit was slightly askew, his boots covered in glistering stardust. What on earth? Who called me here? And where is my bag? Before the twins could explain, Santa's reindeer erupted in a frenzy. Suddenly, his sleigh was tucked into a magical vortex above their house and spat out across the continent, crashing into the untamed wilderness of Kruger National Park. This is bad. Really bad, Santa muttered, clutching his head. His bag, the source of all his Christmas magic, was missing, and to make matters worse, it had to be found before sunrise, or Christmas as we know it would disappear forever. With Santa's sleigh grounded, his reindeer scattered, and no one else to turn to, the mission to save Christmas fell squarely on the shoulders of Thandi and Sizwe. But rescuing Christmas was going to be anything but easy. Thandi and Sizwe picked out from the bushes, clutching the enchanted Zulu drum. Before them lay Kruger National Park, a vast wilderness where anything could happen, and somewhere in the shadows was Santa's magical bag. With no time to waste, they tiptoed through the tall grass. Suddenly, a lion's growl pierced the silence. They froze, heart pounding. Sizwe whispered, "Do you think they eat kids or just Santa?" Thankfully, the lion wandered off after a tense few moments, leaving them trembling but determined. They pressed on, their eyes darting everywhere. That's when they spotted the bag glinting in the moonlight. Relief turned to panic as a troop of baboons grabbed it and raced into the trees, screeching with glee. "Please, that's not yours," Thandi pleaded. The baboons ignored her, and Sizwe groaned. "Guess it's plan B." The twins beat out a rhythm on the enchanted drum, luring the baboons down to investigate. It worked, briefly, but one mischievous baboon grabbed the drum and began drumming itself. Now they had two problems. Just as they tried to outwit the baboons, a new danger appeared. Footsteps, human ones. A poacher emerged from the shadows, armed and muttering. Those reindeer would fetch a fortune. The twins ducked into the bushes, holding their breath. The poacher scanned the area, his eyes locking onto the sound of the baboon drumming. "What's that racket?" "I'll check it out," he muttered. Thandi whispered, "We can't let him find Santa or the bag. We have to stop him." The poacher's eyes narrowed as he stepped closer. The twins exchanged a nervous glance, gripping the drum tightly. It was time to act fast and take a risk. Thandi and Sizwe's heart pounded as they crouched into the bushes, gripping the enchanted drum. The poacher's flashlight swept across the clearing, its beam landing on Santa's bag, now lying in the middle of the baboon's chaos. The poacher smirked. "That will fetch a pretty penny," he muttered, stepping closer. The baboon scattered, screeching in fear, and the bag lay unguarded. The twins had to act quickly. Sizwe whispered, "What if we scare him off?" Thandi nodded, her eyes darting to the drum. They didn't know the drum's full power, but it was their only shot. With trembling hands, they banged out a thunderous beat. The sound echoed through the park, bouncing off trees and startling every creature within earshot. The poacher froze, looking around confused. The twins didn't stop. They drummed louder, faster, pouring every ounce of courage into the rhythm. Suddenly, a gust of wind swirled through the clearing, lifting leaves and dust into the swirling cloud. Shadows seemed to come alive, dancing around the poacher. "What the?" he stammered, stumbling backward. The twins banged harder, their rhythms relentless. The poacher, overwhelmed by the eerie display, dropped his flashlight and bolted into the night. The twins collapsed with relief, their laughter mixing with the sound of the night. But their victory was short-lived. Thandi pointed to the bag. "It's glowing!" They approached cautiously. As soon as Sizwe picked it up, a soft golden light spread across the clearing. A deep, warm voice resonated in the air. "You've done well, children, but your journey isn't over yet." Santa, looking restored and regal, stepped out from the shadows. "We've got a sleigh to fix, and the clock is ticking," he said with a grin. The twins smiled, knowing they weren't just helping Santa, they were saving Christmas. The twins stood in awe as Santa waved his hand, and the sleigh lifted slightly from the ground, its damaged parts glowing golden as they repaired themselves. "This magic takes teamwork," Santa said, gesturing for their twins' help. Together, they worked tirelessly. Sizwe held up the bag while Thandi used the enchanted drum to send bursts of energy toward the sleigh. With each beat, the sleigh grew brighter and more magnificent. Finally, with a triumphant whoosh, the sleigh was ready. Santa grinned, his cheeks rosy and his eyes twinkling. "You two have saved Christmas and taught me something important. Even magic needs a little heart and bravery to work." He reached into his bag and pulled out 2 shimmering gifts. "These are for you, tokens of courage and kindness. But remember, the greatest gift is what you've already given to others." The reindeer pranced and pawed at the ground, ready to take off. Thandi and Sizwe exchanged smiles, their hearts swelling with pride. They'd faced lions, baboons, and even a poacher, and somehow they'd come out on top. As Santa climbed into his sleigh, he turned back and said, "Oh, and one more thing. Keep playing that drum. You never know what magic it might bring next." With a hearty laugh, he shouted, "Merry Christmas!" and the sleigh soared into the starry sky. The twins watched until the sleigh disappeared, the sound of jingling bells fading into the night. Hand in hand, they walked back home, ready to share their unbelievable adventure with their grandmother. And that's how 2 mischievous twins from South Africa helped save Christmas and learned that courage, kindness, and a little magic can make anything possible. And so, Thandi and Sizwe's magical Christmas adventure came to an end. But their story lives on as a reminder to us all. Bravery, kindness, and a little imagination can create miracles. Now, let's hear from you. What would you do if you summoned Santa Claus by accident? Drop your ideas in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this magical adventure and subscribe for more stories that spark wonder and joy. Oh, and don't forget to share this with someone who could use a little holiday magic today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Merry Christmas!